if this is TH and this is TL, okay, and if this is reversible engine, then what we know as QH, QL, W. What we know as, we have seen it, QH by TH comes out to be QL by TL numerically. We haven't put proper sign with QH and QL. That we have seen in the last class. How you can reach to this? Because efficiency is 1 minus QL by QH and it is also equal to 1 minus TL by TH. Okay, you have proven it from ideal gas as working fluid, but we can prove it in general. So let's assume that yes, this is true for any working fluid for reversible engine. So this will lead to, we have seen QH by TH minus QL by TL equals to 0. Okay. Now, since so this is our system heat engine, right? So since QH is into the system, so it is positive, and QL is it is going out from the system. So we can write this way. So we have taken sign under consideration. Okay, that if so, now the sign of minus QL is what? QL is a numerical value. Remember, here QH and QL are just numerical value, and then we had put a minus sign. It means this much heat is going out from the system. That's why it's a negative quantity. So taking care of sign, we can write for this example, for reversible engines, summation of, or you can say for reversible engine means we know that from Carnot theorem 2 that all the efficiencies of any reversible engine, I mean the efficiency of any reversible engine equal to Carnot engine. So this relation is valid for a Carnot cycle or any reversible cycle working under these two thermal reservoirs. So Carnot cycle or any reversible cycle. Let's fix it for Carnot cycle till right now. Okay, yeah. So summation of Qi by Ti equals to 0, where Ti is the temperature of thermal reservoir and Q is the heat interaction associated with that thermal reservoir. Okay. Now what will happen if my engine is irreversible? Okay. So let's take an example of irreversible engine. Same thermal reservoirs, but this time we have irreversible engine. Okay. Fine. Now, what we certainly know is this, that eta irreversible and eta reversible, which one is greater? Anyone?
Eta reversible.
Eta reversible. So that we know. Good. Now, what I know about eta reversible is 1 minus TL by TH. Can I write it for eta IR also? Or what we should write for eta IR? Let's see what you think. Yeah. Anyone? Can we write it 1 minus TL by TH? So let's do one thing. Let's say since it is working with the same reservoir, QH is going to be same. Do you think QL will be same? So this W will be different this time. Let's say W1 or WIR, and this QL dash. It will be something else, right? Rather than QL dash, why it's making so QL dash is fine, right? So now can anyone tell me what is eta IR? Can we say it in terms of temperature? No, because that is
So
only
we can define it in terms of Q.
Yes. So please go ahead. 1 minus.
Like sir, 1
QL dash.
QL dash upon QH.
Okay. Great. So 1 get cancelled. Remember QL and QH are numerical values, so we'll take care of sign. Okay. So this gone. If you remove minus sign, we have to flip this inequality. So this will lead to QL dash by TL. Let's say we take everything on that side. So this will be minus QL dash by TL plus QH by TH, right? That will be less than 0, taking care of sign, because QL and QH are numerical value. This. So what we have proven for an irreversible engine? For an irreversible engine, because this QL and QH are heat interaction for which one? Irreversible engine. TL and TH we are keeping same. So whatever you see here, that says something about an irreversible engine or an irreversible cycle working under the same reservoir. And what we got is follows. You can see QL dash is heat going numerically with a minus sign, so that we can take care of sign. QH is heat coming into the irreversible engine. So what we can say, for an irreversible engine, summation of QI by TI is less than 0. Okay, that was very important observation made by Clausius. It is known as Clausius inequality. And that is the whole genesis of second law in classical thermodynamics framework. Okay, summation of QI by TI is less than 0 for a irreversible engine. Anyone has any confusion, interrupt me, because we are going to more deeper concept. I'll take 1 minute break. I'll come back. You see this. Okay, so I'm back. So I guess no one has any comment? Okay. If not, then we are going to generalize this for continuous cyclic process. This one is we have two reservoirs. What if there is a process? If you are going from, let's say, temperature T1 to T2, okay, or if you have a cyclic process, continuous cyclic process, what will happen? And not similar to Carnot, something else.
Sir,
because this, yes, please come. Yeah.
sir, can we say that the maximum efficiency is achieved, will be achieved in the Carnot cycle? Means how can we arrive at that conclusion? Right?
Oh, what is the maximum? How we can achieve the maximum efficiency in Carnot cycle?
No, sir. Means if we have two adiabatic and two isothermal processes,
Yeah, true.
means we say that in this engine we achieve the maximum efficiency, right?
True.
But sir, my point is like, how can we say that? Means how can we conclude that?
What is the
This would
Carnot term one?
Sir, actually, I don't remember that.
Yeah, so Carnot theorem 1 says, let's assume that what we are saying that the efficiency of Carnot cycle is maximum. Forget about that. Say eta irreversible is greater than eta reversible. Okay. And then if we'll go to the last class, we have shown that if you assume that eta irreversible is greater than eta reversible, then you ultimately you reach to a conclusion which violates the second law of thermodynamics. That is, you will reach to a PMMSK, perpetual motion machine of second kind. Hence, our claim was wrong that eta irreversible is greater than eta reversible. And if that is true, then eta reversible efficiency is fixed. See, Carnot theorem 1 and 2 establishes this. Carnot theorem 2 says that if you have any reversible engine who is working under TL and TH, and if you take a Carnot engine between the same reservoirs, its efficiency is 1 minus TL by TH, right? You agree? That is Carnot theorem 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Carnot theorem 1 says that if you have any irreversible engine, that efficiency will be less than reversible engine. In order to prove that, we said, okay, reverse is true. And then we proved something which is not possible. It simply means that Carnot theorem 2 says that all the reversible engine have same efficiency equal to Carnot cycle, and Carnot theorem 2 says that efficiency cannot go beyond that. Now probably you're
Okay,
looking
sir.
for the
Okay,
physical.
sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Means for
physical.
any engine, the maximum efficiency would be of Carnot cycle.
Yeah. Now you're looking probably for physical answer, and the answer is that in classical thermodynamics framework there is no answer because it's a law. See, we are saying the same thing from different angles. Ultimately, it's loss of available energy. It's entropy generation, and we are trying to say it from different point of view. You will see ultimately we will converge to loss in availability or loss in available energy. Okay, so we can't prove it. There is no proof, a very direct proof. Okay, that's what nature says, that if you will make a engine working cyclically between two reservoirs, the maximum efficiency which you can get is if your engine is working reversibly. That's all. And some heat you will always lose. It's an observation from the nature. That's why I call it second law. We cannot prove it. We have shown something to convince you. I have shown something to convince you. You will find the same thing in book to convince you. Because it's not a direct proof. You are saying that there is something true. You said it is false. Then you did something and you realize that it is violating something which is already established. But that established thing is a law. So ultimately, it's not a proof. It's just I'm trying to convince you. So does it make sense? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you will realize that it will take some time to not digest, but to internalize this philosophy of second law. That's why I've written you that email. Nothing to worry. Gradually, you will once you will see the examples. I haven't solved the examples of second law, but first I want to finish the. There are so many concepts that it's important to finish them. Then you will enjoy the problems. So hopefully on Saturday we'll do a lot of problems, and this way we'll finish second law. Okay, go ahead. So I hope till now it is fine. Now let's see what I'm trying to show you, which is very important because this is not the classes inequality for differential process. So we will try to reach there. Okay. Fine. Don't miss any sentence. And if you have any doubt, please interrupt me. Very important, whatever we are going to see. Now, I have a very simple illustration for you, and you can also try, and you will come to know why I am giving you this illustration. So let's say this is PV diagram. And let's say there is a process where you are going from 1 to 2. Of course, reversibly. 1 to 2. State 1 to state 2, reversibly. Okay. But it is not known what kind of process it is. It can be any general process, reversible. Right. Now, I want to establish an equivalent process. Listen carefully. An equivalent path. Equivalent to 1 to 2. Okay. Can anyone tell what should be the characteristic of that another path, equivalent path? How we will say that, okay, another path which I have chosen is equivalent to going from 1 to 2 through this red curve. What things you have to take?
Internal
Yes.
energy or enthalpy is same. We can say
Change in
that. Or
internal
entropy.
energy is anyway same, that because the states are same. U1 minus U2, U2 minus U1 or U1 minus U2 is going to be same if you are going from 1 to 2, right? Now the question arises that you can go from 1 to 2 from various paths. So when you can say that these two paths are equivalent, that is my question. So what you have to take care? That going from 1 to 2 through different paths also, the work interaction and the heat interaction should be exactly equal to 1 going from this red curve, isn't it? If you take care of that thing, then it will equivalent path. Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say? Okay, let's draw it, and then you will understand what I'm saying. Let's say you go from 1 to A. I'm taking a new path. 1 to A isothermally. Okay, this is isothermal process. Then you are coming A to C reverse adiabatically. Okay. Or let me see which one is isothermal, which one is adiabatic. Oh no, 1 to A is adiabatic, because if you see the exponent, which one is more steeper, adiabatic curve or isothermal curve? Anyone? This you do in your JE. That so if you take, let's say, 1 to A and A to A passing through B till C, which one is isothermal, which one is adiabatic?
ABC is isothermal, A21 is adiabatic.
Yeah, exactly. So adiabatic process is more steeper. So this is adiabatic, and rather than adiabatic, I will say dq0, q0 here, and this is isothermal. And then again from C to 2, we are going isothermally. Okay. So this is my new path. So what is my new path? 1, A, B, C, 2. Okay. So I'll write it 1, A, B, C, 2. This is my new path. Okay. Fine. If I can prove that W1, A, B, C, 2 is equal to W12, 1B2. Okay. I have purposefully put 1B point so that you can distinguish the path. So either you can go from 1 to 2 through red path or through this path. If you can prove this, and if you can prove this, Q1 ABC2 equal to Q1 B2, then you can say that this green path is equivalent to red path. Okay, so for that, now what we are going to do, and you can follow me. So we have two paths. Now let's say you have done it in such a manner, you have chosen a new path, because you are free to choose a new path. You are replacing this red path by two adiabatic and one isotherm in such a way that this area is equal to this area. So what I am saying, area of 1 A B is equal to area of B C 2. That's what I am saying. That's how I am drawing this isotherm and adiabatic. I am free to draw this way. Okay. Now you can always write. You can see here. You can always write U2 minus U1 is equal to what? Through new path, anyone? It should be U2 minus U1, but let's say E is only U. There is no other form of energy. So U2 minus the first law is Q1 ABC 2 minus W1 ABC 2, right? From first law. Okay. Right. Now if you see, can anyone tell me what is the work done in this cycle? If we take this cycle, what is the work done? Rather than, so let's say you go from 1 to A to B, B to C, C to 2, 2 to 1. If you flip this, again you come back from 2 to 1, let's say. Can anyone tell me what will be the net work done?
0.
0, because areas are equal, right? Because areas are equal, area and in PV diagram, area within a cycle gives you work done. So dW is 0 from this, because area of are equal. So what we are saying, W1 A B C, W1, just a moment. So this we know. So if I am writing W1 A B C 2 plus W 2B1, what it will be? 0, right? And how we are claiming that? Anyone? Nidhi, how we are claiming this? That work done is 0 in this cyclic process. What is the cyclic process? We are going from 1 to 2 through A, B, C, and then we are coming from 2 to 1 through B. So why this is the sum is 0? Yes, Nidhi. Any idea?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, why it is 0? Just, I mean, I'm just making sure everyone got it. So in case you miss something, I can help you. Why I'm saying this work done is 0? Not clear.
Not clear, sir.
Sir, because
Okay.
you considered that the
Sir,
area of both of them are same.
Yeah, so we know that the sum of sum is going to be 0. Now I can write this work in different manner, right? So Nidhi, what I'm saying is as follows. If I'll ask you the work done through this cyclic path, can we write this way? W1 AB plus W BC. No,
Yes.
that will not be good. No. Wait. See, since we are saying these areas are equal,
Yes, sir.
don't you think that the net work done will be 0? Because
Yes,
see,
sir. Because
yeah. And then I'm writing this work done in a special fashion, the cyclic process work done. Rather than the in form of two triangles, I am writing this way: 1 ABC2 plus W2B1, right? Okay. So then I can write W1 ABC2 equals to minus W of 2B1,
yes, sir.
right? And now can I write minus W2B1 as W1B2, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So W1B2. So this we have proved. You see, this is done.
Yes.
Provided you draw the adiabatics and isotherm in such a way that this is valid. So this you have to take care. Why we are doing this, we will see. Under this condition, this is true. Now let's see about the heat interaction. So for heat interaction, if you will see, if I write Q1 and Nidhi can help us, 1 ABC2, you just check Nidhi whether it's correct or not. Can I write Q1A plus QABC plus QC2? Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me what is Q1A, Nidhi? Q1A.
Q1, it is adiabatic, so it will be.
So 0. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It
Gone.
will be.
And what is QC2? Gone.
QC will be 0.
Yeah. So gone. This is also isotherm.
Yes.
So basically, what we have proven, QABC2 equals to
Equals
QABC. Now, what we should do? Fine, it is QABC. Now, what we will do is as follows. That okay. Now we will do this. You remember, we have this equation: U2 minus U1 equal to Q1 ABC2 minus Q1. So now, what we are going to write? Maybe I can use this space. So U2 minus U1 is equal to QABC minus what is our W1 ABC2 is equal to W1 B2, right? So W1 B2. Okay. And I can also write my U2 minus U1 is equal to Q U2 minus U1 will be equal to Q12 minus W1B2. Isn't it, Nidhi?
Yes, sir.
Right? Because see, if you go from 2 to 1 through this green path, I can write U2 minus U1 is equal to Q1 ABC2. But Q1 ABC2 is coming out to be QABC because the only heat interaction path is isotherm. So it's Q1 to it's QABC minus W1B2. Why I have written W1B2? It is actually W1BC2, ABC2. But we have already proven that W1ABC2 equal to W1B2 from here. So I can write that. Now, if you follow the red path, I can write U2 minus U1 is equal to Q12 minus W1B2, right? Now the left hand sides are equal. On right hand side, this term is equal. So this has to be equal. I mean, there is no way. I mean, it simply means this is valid, isn't it? If you subtract this, left hand side 0, on the right hand side W1B2, W1B2 get cancelled. So we are proving QABC equal to Q1B2. So basically what we have done here, if you get confused with this illustration, what we have done here is as follows. Let's open a new page. And then I'm summarizing what I have done. That if you have any change, let's say going from 1 to 2, it can be PV or anything, whatever it is. Okay. Then you can replace this, and if it is reversible. Okay. You can replace this reversible process by an equivalent path. When I say equivalent, means heat interaction and work interaction should be identical. Okay. Then in thermodynamic sense, we can say it equivalent because the only thing which we take care about U, Q and W or EQ and W, and that is same from 1 to 2. Or I have to choose a path for which these all quantities are same, change or work transfer or heat transfer. So I can always replace this 1 to 2 from a new path which will be equivalent by this. I will draw isotherm, adiabatic, then followed by isotherm, and then again adiabatic. And if I make sure that these two areas are equal, then this new path 1ABC2 will be thermodynamically equivalent to this red curve 1 to 2. That's all I said. So if area 1AB is equal to area BC2, path 1 to 2 is equivalent to path 1 ABC2. So these are two adiabatic things and these are one isotherm. Okay. Now how it will help us? You can ask her why suddenly you did this illustration. Okay. So the answer is as follows. Now what I am going to do is as follows. Okay. And for that I'd like, okay, let's do it here. If I'd be unable to draw, then I'll open my PPT, but otherwise let's try to draw it here. And now we'll see it very carefully. Let's say there is a cyclic process. Why we are taking cycle? Because we have just seen Carnot cycle and any engine work in cyclic manner. Second law is for a cycle. Okay. So we have taken a cyclic process. Okay. We don't know whether it's reversible or irreversible. Right now we don't know whether it's reversible. The more general case is irreversible cycle. Irreversible means that doesn't mean that the whole path is irreversible. Some portion may be irreversible. Even if there is some portion is irreversible, that circle will count it as irreversible cycle, isn't it? Some part reversible plus some part irreversible is equal to irreversible.
Yes, sir.
Right. So let's say there is a cycle in general which is irreversible. Okay, great. Or we don't know. Let's say there is some cycle we will see later on. Now what I am going to do, I will take 2 points. Let's say this is A and this is B. On this cycle, I have taken this A to B. I will zoom this portion. So let's say I am zooming it. here. So you can see here on the right hand side, A to B. Okay. Now we have just seen that you can replace this path from A to B. So I will just remove this. Okay, fine. So now what I will do, that I will replace this A to B by equivalent path we have just seen, in such a way that, so this is adiabatic. Let's say we are going from A to A1, then we are coming to B1, and then we are going back to B. Okay, right. This is adiabatic and this is isotherm. So what I will do for isotherm, I will put dotted lines. That doesn't mean that it's a irreversible process. I am replacing it with a reversible isotherm and reversible adiabatic process. Okay. So let's do it here. If we'll do it here, so what I know is that work interaction and heat interaction going through either red path or green path are equal. So let's do that here. So we are going reversibly, adiabatically reversibly, like this. Okay, then like this, and then this. Okay, we have named this points as A1 and B1. Fine. Okay. Now now what you do, you extend this isotherm, this adiabatic curve. I'm extending it. Somewhere it will cut my it will cut my path at some point. Expand this also. Okay. Now new points which you got in your path, let's name it as C and D. Okay. Right. Now let's talk about C and D. So till this analysis we have covered section from A to B and then section from C to D. Okay. Now what I can do, I can always replace it. I will go from C to, I will go from C to C1 because I am on same adiabatic curve. So C1. Then I will come isothermally from C1 to D1, and then I will go follow this. What we call it? We will follow this thing and we'll reach to D. Okay, that's what we do. Okay, so this is just an extension. So what, again, I'm repeating what we are doing. Since we want to replace CD, I'm going from C to C1, C1 to D1, and D1 to D. So C to C1 is a same adiabatic which is coming from A1. C1 to D1 is isotherm at some temperature. So this is isotherm at some temperature, let's say T1. This is at some temperature T2. These are two isotherms. And then I'm going from D1 to D. Okay. So we have this. Okay, since I have to say, so let's say this is the part of isotherm. Sorry, not this is the part of adiabatic thing. So let me put some another color for this extension so that you will not get confused. So, and then, yeah. So this is just the extension of. So extension I am showing as this violet curve. Extension of what?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, those portions reversible?
Yes, undoubtedly. Those portions are reversible. Whatever I am replacing, this is reversible. What you can do, in fact, let's assume that whole our original cycle is also reversible. Okay, for the time being, to remove any confusion, this is reversible. From this reversible cycle, I have taken path from A to B and I have replaced it by 2 adiabatic and 1 isotherm, and making sure that heat and work interaction are equal. And then I have extended those adiabatic lines, adiabatic path, and then I reach two new points C and D, and then I am going from C to D again through this adiabatic followed by isotherm C1 D1, and then again adiabatic D1 to D. Okay. So now what I am going to say is as follows. Let's talk. So now what you see, if I will ask, so let me color this and then you can tell me. If I take anyone, what this color portion is?
So Carnot cycle.
Carnot cycle, right? Very good. This is nothing but Carnot cycle. And if it is a Carnot cycle, and let's say if here heat interaction is Q1 and if here heat interaction is Q2, okay, or what you know as Q1 given to the system, Q2 out of the system, whatever. We have just seen summation, that summation of, or you can write, you can always write Q1 by T1 plus minus Q2 by T2 equals to 0. Okay. Now let's assume that A and B are very close. We have seen for this this Carnot cycle that this relation is true. Summation of Qi by Ty equal to 0. Now let's assume, okay, let's assume that this A and B are very close. A and B are very close. Then what T1 will be? T1 will be the local temperature at that given point. If A and B are very close, if A minus B tends to 0, I mean to say, means when A is very close to B, it's not a good thing. When A is very close to B, when A is very close to B, and hence C is very close to D, of course, it means you are talking about the local point. So maybe you are covering a very small, if A will be very close to B, you are covering a small portion on the top and a small portion of the curve on the bottom. Okay. And then in that case, heat interaction will be also very small. So what we can write? dq by T summation equals to 0, where T is the local temperature of the curve. I mean, at that part of the curve. So there are two components. This for top case, temperature will be from the top curve. From the down curve, temperature will be the down curve. Okay. Now, very important. Tell me that in this curve, yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
So sir, Q1, because you're considering that Q1 is the heat added in the part A1, B1, then that much amount of heat is also added in the part AB.
That much amount of part, yes, exactly. That we have already proven in the previous illustration.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was
the
the
same
whole reason
expression-
we did that exercise. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So whatever I am going to show that for this Carnot cycle is true, that is true for our this cycle also, real cycle. See, basically what is happening?
ABCD.
Listen.
AB.
Yeah, ABCD,
it's-
exactly. So anyway, in this ABCD path, what is there any heat interaction from A to C? No, because it's a adiabatic path, right? Isn't it? Similarly, in this cycle, do you think there is any heat interaction from D to B? So our real cycle is what? Let me draw it. What is our real cycle? If we'll see, this red is our real cycle. And I am worried, or I am looking for heat interaction through this red cycle. But we certainly know that whatever cycle we have drawn, is there any heat interaction from C to A through this red curve? No, because it's an adiabatic part of the curve. Is there any heat interaction from D to B?
No.
So basically, even if I am taking this cycle, for my real cycle, the only heat interaction is here, here, and here. Okay. So rather than summation of dq by T equal to 0, do you think I can write cyclic integral of dq by T 0? I will say yes, because even if we take the cycle, there is no harm because we have taken this as adiabatic process, and that is called differential form of Clausius inequality. I'm sure you are still you are taking some. I mean, you are not very much grasped this concept. Wait, okay. Think over this mathematical description. dq by t equals to 0 for a cyclic process. Is it fine? Sneh, anyone? Why I have written this?
Yes,
For a
sir.
reverse, because the cycle we have taken in such a way that from C to A and from D to B there is no heat interaction, so that's fine. So reversible cyclic process. dq by t equals to
Can you
0.
please repeat whatever you said after the T1 local temperature A is very close to B? After
Achha,
that, what
so
did
from
you
there I have to repeat, right? Okay. So what I'm saying that if A and B are very close to each other, see, let's say if I'll ask you, who asked this question, so that I can address you.
it's on
Anik, if I asked you what temperature you will take, T1, TA, TB, or any other temperature, what will be your choice?
TA or TB?
Or any other temperature, anything it can be, right? T1 is an isotherm. We don't know what temperature we should take.
Yes.
So the best choice you said either TA or TB, right? Now, if they are very close, then you are saying both are almost equal. There is a very differential difference. In that approximation, can't we say that TA or TB is the local temperature of that point rather than A and B, two distinguished points? If they are very close, it's like in calculus regime, it's 1 point, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we are going from discrete maths to calculus in order to define for a differential. So basically, that's why I said now T is the local temperature. Now you get convinced, or I should elaborate more?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so T is the and why I can write cycle? Very simple, because you see this portion. Let me choose another color just to. This portion of cycle has no heat interaction. My real cycle, because it's an adiabatic curve. This is also no heat interaction. So the only path which is the only portion where heat interaction matters is A to B and C to D, and that's what I want. That's what I want, because I ultimately I want the heat interaction equation for my reversible, for my cycle, this whatever reversible. Right now we said it reversible cycle. So the only heat interaction is from A to B and from C to D. And what I have shown from this illustration of taking Carnot cycle, that dq by t equals to, okay, rather than cyclic, just simply say dq by t for this cycle is 0. Okay, just simply say dq by t for this Carnot cycle is 0. dq by t.
But sir, for that cycle like A to B, temperature is varying. Means
yes,
across.
From A to B temperature is varying. Come again.
Yes, sir. Means from A to B, temperature is varying, and we are considering the T the temperature of A1 B1. Means that temperature is of A1 B1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then question arises. Then fine, you said that from A1 to B1 there is some temperature, which I said T1, right? Right.
Yes, sir.
Now I will ask you the question: what choice you have for T1? What temperature you would like to take for an isotherm? At what T1 you would like to operate the process? What will be your choice? Keeping in mind that our main goal is to set some equation regarding temperature and heat interaction for my actual cycle. So
the average temperature between the two.
So TA plus TB by 2, right? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
I'm saying they are
Yes,
very close. They are very close. They are in the calculus regime. Very, very close. Then
So
can't
then
say
we
local
can
temperature.
then said local temperature can be the choice.
That's
because
what I'm trying to convince you, right?
Okay.
You got the point. So what we proven that summation of dq by t is 0, where t is the local. So we have two T. One is local temperature of this portion, and another T is local temperature of this portion. So what we have done, we have replaced. Yes.
So since you said that A and B are very close and C and D are very close, So are you ignoring that QAB and QCD?
QAB and QCD. No, I'm not ignoring anything. We have just established in the come again. What I'm ignoring? QAB and QCD. No, I'm not ignoring.
Sir,
There is some
because
difference.
if these 2 points are very close to each other, then the amount of heat added would be very negligible.
Not negligible, differential. You are making a
Yes.
mistake. dq alone is not ignorable. Q plus dq is ignorable. Why I am saying that TAC, TA can be TP plus DT. Then only I am saying TA equal to TB. Then I am ignoring this DT. Alone DT cannot be ignored. Anik, are you getting my point? Is DQ is adding DQ is the heat interaction in this differential change going from A to B, isn't it?
Okay, so we are applying that formula that for the Carnot cycle is a reversible system, summation of QI by
Exactly.
TI equal to 0.
Yes,
Okay, sir.
very true. Yes, and we cannot ignore DQ because DQ is alone. In calculus, you cannot ignore a differential quantity if it is alone or if it is multiplied by something. You can only ignore if it is added or subtracted. So TA equal to TB plus DT or TB minus DT. Then you can ignore DT, and that's why I'm saying TA equal to TB equal to local temperature in this zone. Now you
got it.
Yeah. So you cannot ignore DQ, but you can say TA equal to TB equal to local temperature in calculus because DQ is alone. So for this original path of my cycle, this pink color, we said dq by t equal to 0 by replacing it with a Carnot cycle. So in this way, I have covered which portion of my cycle, Anik? A to B and C to D, right?
Yes, sir.
So now one can ask you that what about C to A? You have drawn something from C to A also and something from D to B also. So what you say about that?
But it is adiabatic.
It is 0. So anyway, it will not harm. Very good. Okay. So the way we have replaced A to B and C to D, we'll take a break. Just give me 5 minutes. We'll take a break. We have replaced A to B and C to D by this green curve. Similarly, you can draw many such Carnot cycles, and you can replace this whole cycle by various infinite number of Carnot cycles. So what we learned from, and for each Carnot cycle, this summation of dq by t, summation of dq by t equal to 0 is valid. So let me summarize what we said. And then, so what we said, if you have any reversible cycle, then this reversible cycle can be replaced by numerous adiabatic and numerous Carnot cycles. Okay, that's what we say. I'm not very good in drawing. I'll show you that drawing soon. And so on. And since for each cycle, so one can ask that, sir, extra portion you are covering. But we have already proven that we are making this isotherm in such a way that heat and work interaction should be equal for the new path. So there is no problem. And this way we have proven that for all such cycles, summation of dq by t is 0, where t is the local temperature at the curve. So if we are covering this for whole cycle, we are replacing the whole cycle with this Carnot cycle. And for all Carnot cycles, this is valid for each Carnot cycle. And if we mix this all Carnot cycle, so summation of dq by t 0 for all Carnot cycles, okay, and then you add all those Carnot cycles, one more summation, what we will get? Our whole cyclic process, isn't it? Okay,
Yes,
not
sir.
yet. Let's say here temperature is T1, here temperature is T2, here temperature is T3, here temperature is T4. What you got is summation of dq by T0 for, let's say, T1, T1 dash, T2, T2 dash, T3, T3 dash. So let's say this is true for this Carnot, T1 and T1 dash. Similarly, there is another Carnot cycle, dq by T. This is true for T2, T2 dash equals to 0, and so on. Now, if we'll add everything, what we will get on the left hand side? Anyone? Isn't it that we'll get the whole cycle, heat interaction through the whole cycle? because you are taking care of all the points, right, Anik? Sneh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, that we are covering everything. So it means we can simply say dq by t equals to 0 for a reversible cycle. dq by t equals to 0 for a reversible cycle. Now, can anyone suggest what will happen if any part of this cycle is irreversible? Now, remember the Clausius inequality, which we have done for, the second portion.
So I
Cyclic
think
into
the whole cycle will become irreversible.
Sorry, come again.
I think the whole cycle will become irreversible.
cyclic
So that's true, but then what is the
integration.
mathematical implication?
Integral dq by t should be less than
Less
Yes,
than
that's
0.
right. Yes. So this is a very famous thing, which is called Clausius inequality. And believe me that you have to, if you want to get more convinced, you have to do it by your own at least once. Okay. Now,
Sir,
let me
please
complete this
repeat
story,
what
then
did you
we'll
say
take a
about
break. Sorry.
Sir, can you please repeat what did you just say about the Clausius inequality, how it is coming?
Okay. Fine. First of all, this integral dq by t is 0 for reversible cycle. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why? Because we have seen that for various Carnot cycles, this is true, this is true. So you can write some numerous, you can fill this whole cycle by such Carnot cycles, and for such every Carnot cycle, this is valid. So when you add, basically you are covering the whole cycle. So this is true. Now, if there is any portion which is irreversible, any cycle, let's say you have various. Okay, let me put it this way. Just to, let's say this is our process. Okay, the path, the cyclic process. And whoever asked this question, just see it carefully. Let's say this portion is irreversible. Okay, who asked, Anik or someone else? That
Yes, sir.
Anik. So let's say this is irreversible. Huh? This is irreversible part of my cycle. Okay, Anik. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now what
Yes,
I will do, I am replacing it again by a reversible Carnot cycle. Now you tell me that my green cycle is Carnot cycle, whereas my real cycle, let me see by this, irreversible cycle. So when you compare the efficiency of a reversible and an irreversible cycle, what we know, Anik? That eta irreversible is less than eta reversible. And if you remember that for Carnot cycle, when we are doing this, when we are comparing it for an irreversible cycle, we have proven that summation of qi ti is less than 0, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if I consider that my cycle here, this pink cycle is irreversible, then I can certainly say this is less than 0, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Because I am comparing it with a green Carnot cycle, and green Carnot cycle is reversible cycle, and I am comparing its efficiency or heat interaction with my actual cycle, pink color cycle, and I am saying it this portion is irreversible. Maybe here to here or here to here, doesn't matter. But one portion is irreversible. So it means for this pink cycle, summation of dq by t is less than 0. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now let's say rest of the part is irreversible. Rest of the curve is reversible. Otherwise, it is reversible. Apart from this, let's say.
Yes, sir. I got it, sir. So
Yeah.
the
So
cyclic
even if
integration will be
yeah, for other part it's equal to 0. But even if there is one inequality for one cycle, that inequality will hold in general, isn't it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that is the whole thing. So what we learned is dq, and this is the master equation. In fact, dq by t is 0. Sorry. dq by t is less than 0. This is called, or of course equal to. So when this equality hold, When this equality hold? When process is
Reversible, completely.
reversible. So if cycle is reversible, then integral of dq by t is 0. And just to distinguish, now we'll always put this subscript dq reversible by t is 0. For irreversible cyclic process, dq by t is cyclic integral is always less than 0. Now what is the implication? What we are saying, and listen carefully, and then we'll take a break. dq reversible integral, basically a reversible process, by t equals to 0. Now just think about this quantity. This is some quantity whose cyclic integral is 0. What does it mean about this bracket? Let's say this bracket thing I name as give any name, p, let's say. What you can say about p? Cyclic integral of p is 0. It means p is a
state function.
And this state function is known as entropy. Okay, so basically that is the genesis of Clausius equality, is the genesis of entropy definition in classical thermodynamics. Is it fine, or I am missing something here? Can anyone tell me what I am missing? What more I have to? Very good. Always remember. So if I have an irreversible process, so let's say 1 to 2 through an irreversible path. Can we determine ds for this irreversible path?
We can determine a bound but not the value.
Sorry, come again.
We can say that it is less than something, but
okay. Let's say I discover a path, a reversible path. So this is broken. Let's say reversible means broken. I discovered a reversible path. Can I find ds for this reversible path?
yes, sir. dq
Yes.
reversible.
Okay. But S is a state property. So this is true. This is equal to ds reversible because we are going from 1 to 2. S is a state property. That is equal to dq reversible by t. It simply means what I am trying to say, that if you want to know the entropy change from 1 to 2, then you have to find a reversible path. You have to calculate the heat interaction, and then it is valid for any process, isn't it? Because S is a state property ultimately. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, just 1 minute and take a break. See how much effort we have taken to prove this. ds equal to dq by reversible by t. Now, why don't you ask me that, sir, why you are saying it dq by t is reversible? Why not dq is only ds? One can always argue, sir, why dq by t is ds? Why not dq equal to ds? Or why you are giving this such a definition to ds? That we cannot express in classical thermodynamics, and that I'll explain you. That is a very nice story. That how we can establish this. So we have established a definition of entropy from this called Clausius equality. This is the this classical thermodynamics approach. We'll see it from this statistical thermodynamics approach also, and then you will get more convinced for this entropy, or what you know that entropy is a degree of randomness, that also will justify. And from that point of view, we will again reach to the same formula. We will see it. Not now, we have to wait. But at least we know that ds equal to dq reversible by t. That, so if someone asks you that how this entropy comes in picture in classical thermodynamics, you simply say that if we go to the Clausius equality, it's hold for a reversible process. It means dq by t, cycling integral is 0. And since cycling integral is 0, that dq by t is a property. If cross questions you, why you have defined this as entropy, why not something else? You have to say that if you will see the concept of which we'll see available energy or loss in availability, available work, because ultimately why we are reading thermodynamics? Ultimately, you want to convert heat into work or any energy storage into work, useful work. So when we try to see this whole thing in terms of available work, eventually it comes out to be that if you define entropy as dq by t, you'd be able to say that there is loss in availability of system in terms of this entropy or entropy generation, and that's why we're defining this way. Then you can convince him from microscopic point of view, which we'll see after we will finish everything. Okay, take a break of 5 minutes. It's a heavy lecture. More heavier things are going to come. Okay, we will meet at 10:21. Thanks. Those who are worried about notes, you will get it. Don't worry. Previous lecture notes also, this lecture notes also. So my TA is typing. You can figure out that how difficult to type everything. And that is not a real teaching. I don't like it. But anyway, I'll do it for you. So it will take some time, whatever we are discussing.
Sir, can you once show the first illustration that you did?
Yes, I'll go there. This one or more or back?
Sir,
Sir, one more back, I guess. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, like, can you explain like how exactly we no, sir, the previous one.
Previous. Okay. Previous
Where
one.
you drew the
Yes, tell me, what is your doubt?
sir, can you explain again?
Okay,
like
fine. No, okay, no problem. So, and you interrupt me. Don't wait till last. Otherwise, again, you have to. So let's say
Yes,
you have a.
I do not understand, like, how did we take the process such that the area became equal? That I did not get.
That is in our hand, isn't it?
Okay, so we are choosing A and C such that
Yes. That area, these two area becomes equal, and these two should be. That is doable. See, you take two parallel adiabatic curves. Imagine, not parallel lines, parallel curves. Let's say 1A is parallel to C. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then this isotherm is passing through the middle point of this one and two. It is possible. Like you have to draw it. Okay. I mean, there is no very strict proof, but yes, it is possible. That's all. Simply, I can say. One has to really do some calculations to show that.
Okay. So, sir, for like 1A path, when we are taking an adiabatic process, we are free to decide like where A will be, like what would be P and B.
Yes, of course. Wherever you want. See, ultimately, from 1 to, I am interested in finding an equivalent path in such a way, right? So that heat and work interaction are equal. That is our agenda.
Yes.
Okay. Because ultimately, in thermodynamics, what we care about, heat and work interaction, because final and initial states are same. So thermodynamically, these two paths will be equivalent, right?
Yes, sir. And so, like you also said that efficiency of irreversible is less than reversible.
Yeah,
so through
yeah.
that, you got sum of Q by
Here
T.
you are talking about, I guess, right? In this slide.
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
No, so like the final last slide, I guess that. Or
the
yeah,
last slide. Okay, that we have to reduce from here. Let's focus it here, and then I'll go to whatever you are asking. If this slide is clear, first tell me.
Yes, sir. This is clear.
So what we know here that if you have a irreversible cycle, right, then summation of Qi by Ti is going to less than 0. You agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's go to last slide. Here. Right. That's what you are looking for?
Yes, sir. This.
Okay. Now tell me that I am saying you that my pink color curve. So when I say pink color curves, it covers two portions of my cycle. This one. Let me give. So this path and this path. This is the part of my cycle, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's say this A to B is through C. So ACB is irreversible. Okay.
Yes, sir. Like my doubt, like when we find the irreversible efficiency, so we'll just write it as, Q in minus Q out upon T in, right?
Yes, very good. True. Yeah.
So, sir, like, how can we say that sum of Qi by Ti is less than 0?
Oh, that's
Like,
what we showed it here. Na? Okay. That's why I said let's go to first line. Okay. That is there. You can see. So let's start from here then. This is fine. You can see my pen. This is fine.
yes, sir. This is
What is eta IR? 1 minus QL dash by QH.
Yes.
Okay. Where QL dash and QH are hint interaction for irreversible cycle. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is fine. And then it was, so I have to derive it again. Let's do it in a new page. No? So for irreversible, sorry, let's use another color. So 1 minus QL dash by QH, okay, is less than what? 1 minus?
QL by QH.
Why I will say QL by QH? I know it's TL by TH, it's a reversible, means I am comparing my cycle with a reversible one, working under the same thermal reservoir, right?
Yes.
Basically, what you are saying is you have a irreversible engine which is working under TL and TH. So we can certainly say that if you could have taken a reversible cycle, then you can, and working under the same reservoirs, you can certainly say eta IR is less than eta R, isn't it?
Yes.
But eta IR I can write only 1 minus QL dash by QH. There is no other way. We don't have any formula. But eta R I know if there is reversible, then we say, so I can say 1 minus TL by TH, isn't it?
Yes.
And then rest is algebra. Simple.
So, sir, but when we take the sum, then we'll have QL dash by QH plus.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. No? Okay,
H dash.
Got this one. So what we have is okay. So and then we have to flip the sign. No? There is minus. We are also removing, right? So this we have, right? Up to this point, it's fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then write it this way: 0 less than QH by TH minus QL dash by TL. Now QH and QL are just numerical value when you are writing these formulas, isn't it? You haven't taken care of signs if you have seen carefully.
Oh, okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So then plus minus. Now it's all the heat interaction for this irreversible engine. Okay, and that's why I can write the summation of QITI0.
Okay, sir, got it. Now we have just taken this Q by L as some quantity S.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yes.
Okay, sir, got it.
Well, first we have to define it for differential process, dq by t is 0. And then you can say it so this is inequality. This will be equal when this irreversible engine will be replaced by reversible engine. I mean, there is no point because we are already comparing it to reversible engine. So if you go to cycle, we are simply saying that for irreversible cycle, the cyclic integral of heat interaction by T is going to be less than 0. And if cycle is reversible, this equality holds. And when this equality holds and if cyclic integral is 0 for a cycle, means that whatever that integrand is, that should be equal to some quantity, state function. Okay?
Yes, got it.
Yeah, let's start. There's a lot to learn. So what can I do?
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I got disconnected at that time. When you started cyclic process.
Okay. So cyclic means from where I should start? Can you tell me this one?
Yes, sir. Sir, here we are taking green curve A1, B1, C1, D1 as Carnot cycle or
yes.
A, B, C, D.
No, you are right. A1, B1, D1, and then let me draw it.
C1.
It's got hidden. C1, yes.
We are not considering A, B, C, D, right, sir?
That's the point. That's what I'm asking you now, Nidhi. Nidhi, is it Nidhi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm saying so you got the right doubt. Let's clear it by yourself. You are asking that, sir, our originals. See, I am going from more. Let's start it. That what is the path which we are worried about, Nidhi, in this whole pink curve? What is of your use? What is the path of your part of your cycle? A, B, and C, D only. A
Yes,
to
sir.
C to D, right? C
Yes,
to A
sir.
and D to B is not the path of your cycle. You agree?
It is adiabatic, so no hate.
It is adiabatic, so that's not a problem. So now you got that point. That's fine.
Yes.
That although we are taking care about A and B and C to D, since we are talking only about heat interaction, we are going to talk about heat interaction. This C to A and D to B not going to matter. Very good. That is first step. Let's go to second step. Now question arises, can we replace this A, B, C, D by a reversible Carnot cycle? Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle is already reversible, right? That is the second thing. So what do you think? Can we?
Yes, sir, we can.
We have just shown it in the previous illustration that yes, we can. Okay. Why?
Yes.
Because going from A to B either through this green path or through this pink path, heat and work interaction are same because we have chosen the area in such a way. Okay.
Okay, sir. Now, yes, sir.
Okay. So since you are replacing this pink cycle by a Carnot cycle, which is reversible, and we have just seen that for Carnot cycle, this dq by t equals to 0 is valid. So it means for this cycle also dq by t equal to 0 is valid, right? And
yes,
this way you can choose such many cycles. So dq by t is 0, summation dq by t 0, summation dq by t 0, where t is the local temperature at that point. If you such in this way, if you cover this whole cycle, this whole thing by such Carnot cycles, then you can write it through for whole cycle. You just sum up. If anyone is not, just time. Let's say dq by t1 is 0, dq by t2 is 0. So I should write dq by t 0 for t1 dash, because t1 is up portion, t1 dash is lower portion. t2 dash, t3 dash. This way you keep on going. t1 dash, yeah, t2 dash, t3 dash. Ultimately, and then if you sum it on the left hand side, basically you will get this. You are covering the whole path. So dq by t equals to 0. That's it. Okay. And by mistake, if any path which I was explaining to, I think Anik or someone else was there. I don't know the name. I also told Nidhi that if there is some cycle which is irreversible, okay, some portion which is irreversible, in that case, if you replace it by a Carnot cycle, you can certainly say that for this part of cycle, this dq by t is going to be
less than 0.
So in this whole, and let's say even if the dq by t is 0 for rest of the part, but for one part it is not less than 0. If you sum it, inequality will hold, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is called process inequality. Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah. So why we did this whole thing? So ultimately, what we have defined and is this ds is dq reversible by t, or delta s is dq reversible by t. Okay, fine. Let's move ahead. So now there are many things to tell you, and you will now be very happy to see new things. Okay, great. Now what we are going to see. Just give me a moment, and then I'll show you. So one has to be really calm while teaching and while studying the thermodynamics. If you are in a hurry, and then you can't understand thermodynamics. Just give me a moment and just opening the right page so that I can convey you the right concept. Okay, great. Yes, very good. And what I'm going to teach you, the way I'm going to tell you, this is very rare in very few books. The book which I have suggested you, that Huang book. In other books, it's given in so wrong manner. What I'm going to derive, you will see. That don't follow them. This Huang has this Francis H. Huang, that he has given it in a very convincing manner. Not a single mistake. Okay. Well, so what I'm going to talk about is as follows. From where I should start? First, let me decide. Now we have defined entropy, so where we should start? Very important. Let's talk about work reservoir. And now I have to take you back to the concept of availability, or you remember that principle of degradation of energy. What it is? If you don't remember, I am writing it for you. ds is equal to a constant C d minus de available. That's what we have started when we started talking about the second law. That there is a loss in available energy. Okay. What does it mean by available energy? If you don't remember, I am writing it. Potential to do useful work. Potential to do work. I will not say useful. I'll tell you why I'm not saying useful, because there is something more which we will cover. So right now, potential to do thermodynamic work. Great. So let's consider a work reservoir. What is the definition of work reservoir? Anyone remembers? Or anything you want to guess? That's fine. I mean, remembering everything is not a good idea.
No change in temperature.
Well, say no heat interaction. No, it's a very. We should not say no change in temperature. You never know. If your system is working, its temperature can change. You should say no heat interaction. Okay. No heat interaction. It will, your work reservoir will only provide you work, like a spring piston system or a shaft. It will only give you work. Now that work you are converting in which form, that's a different issue. But work reservoir which can give you work. So it means, can we say that for a work reservoir, E available is equal to E? What do you think, Anik? Is it fine?
So I have to think a little bit.
Yeah, think over it. This is true because see how we define available energy. Can you focus on this? The definition: potential to do work, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Think over it.
Yes, sir.
And what is work reservoir? It can only give you work. Means thermodynamic work.
Yes, sir.
So it means yes, this is true. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So very good. Now I am going to calculate. Sorry, go back. Now I am going to calculate ds for a work reservoir. And what is the definition of ds? C de minus de v. So what it will be? ds of work reservoir?
0.
0. It simply means that work reservoir, there is no wastage. There is no entropy creation. Work reservoir, the simple, the whole the definition itself is self-satisfactory or self-explainable. That work reservoir will give you work which is useful for you. Okay. So there is no entropy generation. There is no wastage of energy. Everything, whatever it is, that is available for the work. Whatever a work reservoir has in form of energy, that is available work. There is nothing unavailable. Right? Sneh, does it make sense? What I said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's simple. There's nothing complicated. Okay. Now let's go to thermal reservoir. We'll calculate ds for thermal reservoir. What is thermal reservoir? Anyone?
Heat
That is
capacity greater than the heat transferred.
Yeah, so that you can conduct reversible heat transfer. Okay. What it makes possible is reversible heat transfer, because its heat capacity is so large that if you take thermal reservoir surrounding, it always remains at the same temperature. So it is always restored. There is no much change in. So you can always restore the surrounding. Of course, when you will restore the system. That's what we see in the reversible process, means system and surrounding both should be restored. So if you take a very large body, then a small heat interaction as compared to that reservoir, this small heat interaction will certainly. So when you will bring back the system, so let's say if you go from 1 to 2, and if you bring back the system from 2 to 1, there will be some heat changes, and system will be restored. Now, if you want that this heat interaction should not affect your surrounding, then it has to be a reservoir, and in a way, system is always roughly restored. So we can roughly obtain a reversible process. Does it make sense, Nidhi? that why we need this concept of thermal reservoir? Yeah, Nidhi, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Bhavna, I have not listened for a long time from you. Bhavna, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, great. Yes. So that's the whole concept. So now let's calculate thermal reservoir DS. Huh? So DS we know as C D minus DAV. Okay, great. Now if it is a thermal reservoir and if I apply first law, D equals to how we write dq minus sorry, not dq, very sorry, D we have defined as dq minus dou w. So what we can write for thermal reservoir? What is this quantity? Thermal reservoir only does heat interaction. Oh no, sorry, very sorry, this is wrong. Thermal reservoir does heat interaction, that is a different thing, but so what I'm going to write is as follows. Basically what I'll say that this whole thing will be some fraction of dq, isn't it? If it's a thermal reservoir, some part will be available and some part will be unavailable. You cannot say that whole part is unavailable, no, because you remember from experience also that when you take a piston spring system and then when you bring in contact with a thermal reservoir, the gas can expand and work can be the heat engine. But you know that there is a loss also. We have just seen this whole second law. So we can simply say that this whole thing, so this is nothing but dE unavailable. Okay, and we know that unavailable is going to be the some fraction of dou q, right, Sneh? Can't we say that E unavailable will be some fraction of dou q? Whatever heat your thermal reservoir will provide, some part of that will be unavailable. That's what we have seen till now through heat engines, yes. Right?
Yes.
So I can write C dou q, okay, is ds thermal reservoir. Now what about this C? What we have shown from Clausius equality? What this C has to be? Anyone? What we have shown from T, 1 by T, not T, 1 by T. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And what is that then once you say C1 by T, what we are still missing here? Anyone? Are we missing? Because it should be reversible. Are we missing that thing? No, because we know thermal reservoir is reversible. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's it. So it means ds thermal reservoir you can always write dou q by T. There is no need to write reversible because thermal reservoir by definition are reversible. Great. Okay, so we have defined ds for work reservoir, which is always 0. There is no wastage of energy. Wastage means deterioration, no degradation, not wastage. Wastage is also a good word. I am not destroying. Wastage is fine. Whereas for thermal reservoir, some part is available, some part is unavailable. Whatever is in the form of heat, that is unavailable. Okay. Good. No, that convention is not correct. Whatever in the form of that. The ds thermal reservoir is dou q by T. That's all I have said. Okay. Means the thermal reservoir portion, there will be entropy generation. If your cycle is reversible, engine is reversible, then of course here you will know, since your engine is reversible, its ds is 0, but then there will be entropy generation on reservoir side. Okay. Let's see. Yeah.
So that will be like dou q. No, that will be some fraction of dou q. C into some fraction of dou q.
So say it's another number. How does it matter? New constant. A. Fine. You are right. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Doesn't matter. No? Some constant. Okay. Fine. Now, why I define this reservoir, you will get to know. Now, let's see what I'm going to show you. Okay, let's start from. Yes. Now we will talk about system and surrounding. Okay. So we have a system in general, and for surrounding, I am taking a thermal reservoir. Okay. This is surrounding. Anyway, our surrounding, I mean our natural surrounding itself a thermal reservoir. So no problem. You can simply say system and the surrounding. Okay, and surrounding is a thermal reservoir. Okay. Fine. Now, if you remember when we started with second law and when we started from the principle of degradation of energy, what we said about delta S universe, anyone remember? You have to go to the derivative. So I'm not going to derive it. That's what we have said. Okay, great. Now what is our universe means what? System and surrounding, right? Okay. So if that is true, then from here, for my case, I can write delta S system plus delta S. Acha, what else can be there in surrounding? There is thermal reservoir. There can be work reservoir also, in general. Why I missed it? There can be work reservoir also in surrounding. So work reservoir, like a shaft or a piston or a spring system or a spring. Okay. So then delta S thermal reservoir. So let's say delta H thermal or heat reservoir, delta H HR. This is heat reservoir and this is work reservoir, and delta S WR. That is our total universe in this case, right? Delta X system that is greater than equal to 0. Fine. Okay. Great. Now, do you know what is delta S system? Anyone would like to throw some light? Do we know what is delta S system? Let's say the heat interaction between thermal reservoir and system is QHR. Okay, QHR. Can we say anything about delta S system? Anyone would like to comment? I'm asking you so that you will never forget it in future. Any comment? Can we say something?
Plus QHR by T.
No. Do you know it's a reversible transfer to system?
No.
We can't say anything. Okay, let it be. Keep it like as it is. Delta S system plus. Can we say anything about delta S heat reservoir? Yeah. Can we say anything about delta S heat reservoir?
0.
Why 0?
Because
heat reservoir, not work reservoir, heat reservoir. WSHR.
there is no unavailable energy for work reservoir.
No.
QHR by T.
System, heat reservoir.
So QHR by T.
Yeah, because you have just thermal reservoirs are reversible. Okay. So QHR by T HR. Okay. Where QHR is given to heat reservoir, but since heat reservoir will give heat, that will be taken care later on. Don't worry. We just say QHR by THR, whatever Q sign Q have. Plus, someone commented delta SWR. Yes. What it is?
0.
0.
0.
Okay. That is greater than equal to 0. Great. What else we know? We certainly know that QHR should be equal to minus Q system, isn't it? Same thing. Heat taken from, or basically this heat interaction between thermal reservoir system, they have opposite sign. So either you put here minus QHR or you simply say QHR is minus Q system. Okay. If you are not convinced, let's put a minus sign here, just to remove your confusion. Fine. Is it okay? Hanik, why I put that minus? Clear, no?
So why do you need to put the minus? Because
Because,
you have written that QHR equal to minus Q system.
people will get confused, and generally how you define entropy? Q given to something, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So since QHR was coming out, I put a minus sign. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's all. If you don't want to, if you are fine with sign conventions, you can carry on with plus QHR also. Then QH sign is embedded in QHR. Okay. But if you are taking QHR as a numerical value, put a minus, no problem. Fine. But we know QHR is minus Q system, right? Ani, it's fine. Bhavna?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, because
Sir?
heat,
So
yes.
why can't we write delta S system?
Oh, what is the definition of delta S? Who is it, by the way?
Samira.
Samira. What is definition of delta S?
It is del Q reversible by T.
Do you know that it's a reversible heat transfer to system?
So, but entropy is a state function. So for irreversible, it should be same as reversible.
Entropy should be same. But then you have to know that reversible heat transfer amount. You don't know that, no? Okay. Let me show you where you are confused. Let me open the new page.
So like
You are saying,
state function. So
wait.
it should depend on all the initial and final.
I got your point, but see it carefully. We want to write delta S system, right? In our process, the heat which you are giving to system is through irreversible path. Okay? Are you
Yes.
okay? Fine. So, can we write delta S system through this path? No. So, what you are suggesting? Sir, take some other reversible path, right?
Yes.
And then, of course, you can write, let's say, Q reversible nu by T. But do you know this Q reversible? I mean, I haven't told you, no? What is the new reversible? What is the reversible replacement? I haven't discussed this.
Yes.
We can, but then you have to find out that amount, which we don't know. You have to find out a reversible path to transfer the heat from thermal reservoir to system. Right?
Yes, sir.
So that's a different thing. But then I'm not telling you that part. I'm saying the heat transfer from reservoir to system is irreversible. Okay? And hence we can't do anything. Okay. So where we are? So we'll write delta S system plus. I can replace minus QHR. So if I by simply Q system by THR greater than or equal to 0. Up to this point, it's fine. Using this, I simply wrote minus QR as Q system. So what we have obtained delta S system plus QHR Q system by THR is greater than or equal to 0. Good. Now, let's say that we are adding differential heat to the system. Then what should be the temperature difference between heat reservoir and system? Anyone? I will write here. And let's see who will. This is T heat reservoir, and this is T system. And I am transferring a differential heat. I am conducting a differential process, a very differential change. What
Both
else? Plus?
Both must be equal.
Not equal, because the moment you say equal, there is no heat transfer. So very differential difference, isn't it? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can we ignore this dt? Who will comment? This time, can we ignore this dt? And can we ignore dq? Let's see.
We can ignore dt, but not dq.
Yeah, because dt is alone, but dt is added to something. So it means if now I'm writing it so that for a differential change, we are replacing THR by T system. Means your system is almost having the temperature equal to the heat reservoir. Slight difference. Okay, so we can replace THR by T system under this approximation. Remember, in strict sense, nothing is possible. So we always deviate slightly from equilibrium or always. Then only then only a process can proceed. So in mathematical sense, THR is roughly equal to T system, and we cannot ignore DQ because DQ is alone. If we manipulate this for a differential change, then delta S will be replaced by DS system plus Q system minus THR now becomes equals to T system greater than equal to 0. What you see here now, everything is system, right, Bhavna? Everything is system. Yeah.
Actually, I didn't got that part.
Which part?
Like, we can ignore the DT part only for reservoir, no? Because the temperature of thermal reservoir will not change.
Okay, okay. You will immediately will get convinced. Don't worry. Again, I am writing delta S system plus QHR plus sorry, this becomes Q system THR. This is fine, Bhavna?
Yes, sir.
Now delta S system plus Q system. So delta becomes D because we are seeing differential change, and this becomes dou Q system by what is your THR, Bhavna? T system plus DT. Up to this point, everything is fine. You agree?
Yes, yes, sir.
Now, mathematically, can we ignore this DT?
Yeah, we can, but there will be slight change in the system's temperature, not the reservoir.
Yes. So I'm not changing the temperature of reservoir, na? I'm not changing the temperature.
Reservoir temperature constant.
No. I am saying it's basically my reservoir system temperature is slightly below than reservoir temperature, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that's it. That's what I have done. And mathematically, I can ignore this. No problem.
Okay, I got that.
Okay, I am not saying that T system equal to THR. If you follow it strictly, of course. See, I always said, in strict sense, nothing is possible in thermodynamics. So you have to slightly deviate, and then you have to see the effect that mathematically what can be ignored, what cannot be ignored. That's what I did, nothing else. So I purposefully keeping the temperature of heat reservoir and system very close. But if you put exactly equal, nothing is going to happen. So you always deviate slightly. So I'm not saying it's a strictly reversible process, but that's what we learned from thermodynamics. There is nothing strictly reversible. That is only a reference to understand. Okay, Bhavna?
Yes, sir, I got that.
That's it. So what we have done, and then you can leave now. We have so T system plus dou Q system by T system is greater than equal to 0. If you'll see carefully, here everything is in terms of what we said, system, right? Everything is in form of system. Okay, so there is no sign mistake, I guess. There should not be. Now what? Okay, just one moment. There is something now. You have to play with this sign of Q. Just a moment, so that it matches with the book. Give me a minute. Whether we define dq in this out of the system or into the system, that we have to see. Wait. So what we said, by the way, that Q heat reservoir is equal to minus of Q system. Okay, and then back, just a moment, here I have to take care of this. Okay, minus dQHR. QHR is going out, so we said delta S is minus of QHR by T. And if I define delta S of system, this is fine. Oh, okay, no problem, fine. So where we are, wait. So open a new page, and what we have did is DS system plus D T is greater than equal to 0. Okay, fine. And we said that Q system, let's say QHR is equal to QHR numerical equals to Q. Okay, so Q system is minus of QHR, and that is equal to, so let's say DQ, D, 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 DQ. Okay, so if I say QHR equals to DQ numerically, numerically, what does it mean? This much heat has been given to the system. So DS system greater than equal to minus DQ system by T, and minus DQ system, wait, this sign, okay, this sign I will take later on. It should be, this should be only DQ, heat given to the system. So okay, this sign we will see. So eventually it comes out to be this. This sign I have to take care, because in books they have taken QHR as positive. Okay, anyway, so what we have to prove is DS system. Sorry, yeah, we have
Sir, you have written dQHR equal to DQ, and in the next line you have written minus dQHR equal to DQ.
Oh, wait. So it should be minus DQ. Now it's fine. Okay, sorry. So what I am saying is that dQHR, wait, okay, let's do this way. dQHR is numerically equal to DQ. Okay, only numbers, numerically. Fine. So if I, okay, now what we have said here is that DS system plus dou Q, this should be dou by the way, dou Q system by T system is greater than equal to 0. I have to just take care of this so that it matches with book. Now DQ system, we have considered heat given to system, right? Heat given to system. Fine. Now it's fine. And that will be equal to what? Minus of dou QHR, isn't it? Right? Because dou QHR is numerically equal to dou Q. So this is simply minus DQ. Basically what I am saying is DS system is greater than minus of dou Q system by T system, and DS system is greater than equal to dou Q by T. That's all I'm trying to say. Where Q is heat given to the system. That's what ultimately we would be able to prove. Okay. Anyway, we will. I think you have class now after from here. So that simple sign thing we'll take care in the next class tomorrow. That's where we should reach. I'll see in a more convincing way. This sign got bit not confusing, but I have to tell it to you again. Ultimately, we should reach this thing where Q is heat given to the system. Okay, fine. You have class after this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's already 11, huh? Go ahead. This sign thing will be taken care. Don't worry. Tomorrow. It's already taken care, but I think many of you got confused. We'll take it care tomorrow. Thank you. Run for next class. Go.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. So Pranit, you are still here?